Welcome. I'll be reacting to UFO Season 1, Episode 3. This is not a market substitute. Please support the original. Aww. His kid probably just thinks he's a film director or something. He wouldn't know about Shadow. So it must be fun kind of growing up on a film set. Alright, definitely. This is too wholesome. Something's gonna happen.
What happened to the interceptors?
They didn't make contact.
They what?
What? Moon base, what are you doing up there? Kids.
How'd you make out with that model boat I sent you?
Do you want to see it?
Hmm?
The boat, Dad.
He probably works really long hours. His kid is probably a bit lonely sometimes. That's the vibe I'm getting. He's like, Dad, don't you want to see my boat? Or a striker's kind of like, the Earth is being attacked.
New course 042.
183?
Not 183. It's a long journey to Earth, right? Something could have gone wrong. This is so cute. I want to live here. Oh, this is my dream home right here. Like, ever since I was a kid. Color, the size, everything.
We were having such a great time, I thought an extra half hour. Johnny wanted to show me something.
I think you better go.
Right.
Ouch. My guess is he was working too much. She had enough. They split up. She remarried. Yeah. Careful. Oh. No, too bad. He didn't do anything. You're the one who wouldn't let him go inside and see the boat, lady. Sorry, Mary. This is on you. He's just a kid. He wanted his dad to see his creation. UFOs are gonna have to wait. Is she a nurse? She's wearing something similar to the other people at the hospital. No, it's just a similar color? Or a doctor. Maybe she's a doctor. Oh, this is the worst for parents. That's not a good face. She has him. He's not gonna make it face. Her new guy seems really thoughtful. And concerned about the kid, too.
Well, there's the new American anti-allergenic drug.
Then we could have some flown over. I'll charter a plane if necessary.
Well, I'm afraid there won't be time.
I'll take care of it.
Yeah, he has access to resources. Does she know what his real work is? She doesn't seem to be questioning whether or not he can do it.
I have to leave.
You always had to leave.
I figured that was what it was. It would be tough on a wife. Especially if she didn't know he was actually working for Shadow. I mean, if she knew, it'd be easier.
Speed? 24,000 knots.
He'll never make
Still
it.
headed for Ireland? Look at this house. Super cute, too. It looks like they were in trouble, like their engines failed or something. He did manage to eject.
Fine, fine. I'll arrange for the transporter myself.
Yes, sir.
I love her hair. Look at this. She is so competent, too. I think she's my favorite character.
Its entry speed was too high.
I think it's time for Alec to take command briefly.
I believe I said immediate takeoff.
Yes, sir.
He loves the word immediate. Like last episode, immediate, it means now. I think it's his favorite word.
Won't you stay for a cup of tea?
No, thanks. It's getting a bit late and...
Oh, come on. She probably makes the best biscuits.
Blow it down for me.
Oh, you're a naughty boy.
My grandmother had a dress like that. They look so comfortable. Oh, and she can't really see him. So won't know he's an alien. If he's injured and needs help, maybe he won't hurt her. Hopefully.
There's nothing of value here.
I think he's just curious.
Why don't you go home?
What home?
Oh, ooh, ouch. This is good because Straker always seemed so put together and confident. It's good to see a bit of vulnerability to him, I guess you could say. Yeah, except phones were really loud back then because it goes. Yeah. Hear that?
Maybe that UFO tried to decelerate but couldn't because it had been hit.
The interceptors were way up. What else could have caused it?
The second UFO.
I mean, Earth is made up of a bunch of different nations. Why wouldn't the alien planet also have different groups? And they would have similar technology.
Everything will be all right, Mary.
Yes. Yes, I will. All right.
This actress is doing an outstanding performance here. You can just feel how much she loves John and is falling apart.
Who are you? Why don't you go away? Why don't you leave my house?
Ireland, the West Coast.
Cancel my car.
No, you can delegate. Learn to delegate, Straker.
Coming in from New York.
Yes, sir.
Oh no, that's the transporter that has the medicine.
Well, with mobiles in the area, we can pinpoint his exact position.
Yeah, so that'll take time.
Oh, less than an hour. Transporter will be there within minutes.
A transporter.
The one from New York. You ordered an early takeoff. Is something wrong?
Yeah. No. Well, could you send something to intercept the transporter, get the medicine, and get it back? Oh, he's still here too. Good for him.
It hasn't arrived yet.
I love the crying baby in the background. It just makes it even worse.
The drug will be here as soon as possible.
What can be more important than your own son's life?
Mary! An alien wants to cooperate.
Oh. Ah.
Interception negative. UFO proceeding.
They need more interceptors. 3 does not seem to be enough. Well, the transporter should be back on its way, right? I feel like the other UFO is going to get to him first, unfortunately. Yeah.
He might have told us everything.
I mean, there's got to be aliens on that planet who are not okay with what they're doing.
I never want to see you again.
The sound design in this episode has been incredible. This was a powerful episode. And I like that we really concentrated on Straker this time. Got a little bit of his backstory and what he's been going through. And I think showing why he's kind of on the detached, a little bit more cold side. He kind of has to be. What a decision he had to make there. Between the future of Earth and his child. And then thinking he made the right one. Going after that UFO pilot to see if they could get information, and then it didn't work. And he lost John anyway. And all he has to cover himself is, well, he did his duty. It was the correct decision. But that doesn't help when you're grieving. I don't even think he'll be able to go to the funeral, really. I mean, because with her there and her at the end, like, I never want to see you again. For obvious reasons. And I don't think she knew what was really going on. I'm guessing maybe she suspected that he worked for some kind of a government organization, but that's it. Like, she didn't know how hard it was for him to make that choice. And I think we got to see here the toll that working for Shadow takes on probably everybody there. Of not being able to tell your significant other what you're doing and why you have to just kind of abandon them a lot. They covered this on Stargate as well, of just showing how difficult it was to maintain a relationship or even just date somebody when you're working for a really high stakes but secret organization, because Cheyenne Mountain is a lot like Shadow in a way. I'm beginning to suspect it took a lot of inspiration from this show. And it was always difficult for everyone there to constantly just disappear and be like, I'm so sorry, I have to go back to work. No matter how important the family emergency was, because they didn't understand. Like, aliens are literally attacking the Earth. That's why I'm leaving. But these poor, like, romantic partners have no idea, and they're just like, you're leaving again because of work. This isn't important to you? And they couldn't turn around and say, look, hey, I'm leaving because if I don't, there won't be an Earth. There won't be anyone to save because we'll be all gone. And obviously UFO isn't quite that level of danger, at least not yet. But it's still very important and highly secret. And I really like that they brought this out in the 3rd episode of really showing what it's like to work for them and try to maintain some kind of a family. As in, it's just not possible. Or very difficult. At first, I was really upset that Stryker was not telling Alec what was really going on, but now that I think about it, it was probably the right choice because he was taking on that moral responsibility of having to choose. And if he had said, well, Alec, we have to pick between my son's survival and this UFO, then poor Alec would be dragged into it and would be like, you're making me choose too? And in addition, he would have been hit with all that guilt after hearing John didn't make it. And then he would have been like, okay, I'm partly responsible for that too because I made the choice to divert the transport. And Straker just not sharing what was going on with anyone. He was protecting them. He was taking everything on as a burden to himself to keep his people safe from that emotional trauma that he was going through, and I think that's really impressive. And I like that we got an in-depth episode about the commander this early.